Triple M's Rush Hour podcast is brought to you by Fox Footy, only on Foxtel.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
I see assholes like you every day.
James Brayshaw.
Every day.
Billy Brownless.
Is this more on number one?
Boil the jug, but don't go anywhere.
Put more on number two on the phone.
There's not enough O's in the word spoon.
What the hell is wrong with you two?
Everybody's working overtime. Listening to the Rush Hour.
Triple M.
I feel good.
Great to have your company. Everyone listens, especially on this magnificent day, Willis. Autumnal weather again hits Melbourne, and it is superb. I've been out of most of it myself and absolutely loved it. I've got to tell you something that happened to me. That's coming up. But before we do that, Mitch Robinson, as hard as a cat's head.
Cat's head.
For the Blues.
Yes.
In here with us. This is a man who attacks the pill, Willis, with a ferocity rarely seen, certainly by anyone in this room.
From Tassie, Jim. He's from Tassie.
And also got some big family news. We can ask him about that too when he comes in. So Mitchy boy, not far away. The Duck coming in the second hour. Wayne Carey. We're looking forward to the superstar. Robert Craddock, because the test match last night was just extraordinary. We'll talk about that in just a second. But hello to you, Bill.
G'day, Jimmy boy. Lovely to be with you. And g'day, the listeners. And what are you doing, Shirley?
I'm doing everything I can. And stop calling me Shirley.
Bang, Jim, we're away.
Off the top. Hey, Tiff Hall also going to drop in.
Tiff Hall, yeah.
Talk about the FedEx Expo.
Oh, yes, please, Tiff. It'd be great to catch up with her. But some footy news doing the
go on.
rounds. Carlton and Mark Murphy have today finalised terms. A 4-year deal.
Nice.
4-year contract. A new one, Jimmy boy, of course, the captain there. So good luck to him, who's been a star.
And a number one draft pick, so you want to hang on to that. Well, certainly top three, I think he was. Was he number one, Mitchy boy?
Oh, he wouldn't know.
He would know. Murph, was he a number one draft pick for you blokes? Yes, he was. So there you go. You don't want to let them go, Willis.
No.
And the captain of the club, as you said. North Melbourne, 30,000 members.
30,000?
Just ticked over.
How many did you have last year?
Well, this time, this day last year, were 25.
So I reckon nearly everyone's up this year, Jim, which is
Good.
fantastic, which is great for the clubs
The AFL
themselves.
stated aim, I think, is to get 1 million members.
Yeah,
So
My
that
feral
would
North
be
Melbourne
fantastic.
mates are always on
Of course
board.
they are,
Yeah.
mate. They love it.
They're very
not
confident.
feral either. They're fantastic.
Nah, they're
And 1 week and 1 day before the big stuff starts, Jimmy
away we
boy,
go, Bill.
Collingwood versus Fremantle.
Can't wait.
Etihad Stadium, which is
be good.
strange. But that'll be good. So we're
Bill,
not far away.
Last night, Australia beat South Africa in South Africa
Smashed
in a
them.
test series. The number one test playing nation in the world,
Yep.
South Africa, on their home dung heap.
Unbelievable.
And our blokes gave it to them.
Yeah, they did, Jim. And you know what I loved? It was a long day. 24, 5 balls to
Something
go.
like that. Yeah, 27 maybe.
Ryan Harris.
The rhinoceros.
On his last legs.
Oh, mate.
I think he dropped a leg on the way
I
in
think he
there
might
at one
have.
stage.
Yep.
And he gets, who did he get out first?
Morne Morgan. The first one. Dale Steyn.
Dale Steyn, yes. Oh, there's a bit
Yes.
going
There
on there
was
too.
a bit going on.
And gets him. And then the big buff Lehman comes down from
fat
the
boy.
stands
And then
tries to tell him how to bowl.
This is a bloke who bowled the most pathetic door-opening, finger-spinning crap I've ever seen,
Yes.
trying to tell the legend rhinoceros how to bowl fast.
Well, it worked. He went around the wicket and cleaned up Morne Morkel.
Stick to your knitting, wobble guts.
I thought-
That's what I'd be saying to him from the centre if I was Rhino.
What about, and Warner won man of the match,
Magnificent.
man of the series.
Magnificent.
Girlfriend's pregnant, is going to get
Is she?
engaged.
Is she? I didn't know that. Is that
true?
Bill,
Hang
Is
on.
that true?
Allegedly, she's in foal, Jim.
He's just going with stuff now.
I think he is just
Doesn't even
randomly
check.
talking.
And that means he'll get engaged.
Yeah.
Hasn't he had a big
Yes.
couple of months?
Fantastic. They'll have a little break now, the boys.
Ever
There's
since
4
Joe
months
Root.
till- Yes, that turned him right around. 4 months they get off now, Willis, and then they play, I think, Pakistan in the United Arab Emirates.
Yeah,
the
but you
Test
know what
series.
the problem is? There's about 4 of them. Mitchie Johnson,
Yes.
Warner.
Yes.
They've got to stay on,
Yes.
play 3 2020s, and then they go
World
play
2020 Bangladesh.
and then go
World
to
Cup,
Bangladesh.
And then
So-
IPL.
Yeah, mate, there's still a bit to go for a few of those
There
boys.
is. All right,
Well
well
done, Aussies.
done. Unbelievable performance. Peter Siddle not far away from joining us when he comes back to
Mm.
town too. So we look forward to chatting to him about it. All right, Mitch Robinson to join us next from the Blues. Fans of that great club, stick around.
To Robinson, they might get a quick one here. Robinson flying shot from 50 is home.
Picked off by the young boy Robinson. Tucked on the line. Oh, he's kicked it.
Look at him, look at Jim.
Have a look at this boy. Famous old dark Blues. Mitch Robinson's been good enough to join us on the Rush Hour. Hello to you, Mitchy boy.
Thanks for having us, boys.
Hey, very good to jump in on that microphone. Pretty directional here. Now, listen, mate. I said to you in the introduction, as hard a footballer as there is in the comp, were you always like that as a kid? Have you learnt that in your senior time? Tell us.
No, obviously I grew up in Lauderdale, Tasmania, and that's a pretty hard competition. 15-year-old playing down there, they used to bash us up a fair bit. So put your head over the ball, get a free kick. But the rules are changing these days, and diving in, which was courageous, getting the ball, I got taught, is kind of changed the rules a little bit now. So I have to figure out a game plan too.
Plus, you've been a bit of a wrecking ball, mate. Your own teammates you've copped as well as the opposition.
Yourself.
Yeah, I get told at practice matches to take it back a little bit, but no, it's all good at the moment.
But do you worry about yourself and your body and your head and concussion and things like that?
Not at all. When you start second-guessing yourself, that's when you get actually injured and stuff. So if you just think about the ball and going in hard and hitting the body, you usually come off pretty good.
Hey, you look fit. We had a little chat there before, during the ad break, and you got a new fitness man down there, David
Butterfint.
Geez, I wish he'd left Bill to have a go at that.
He said there's some French Buffon before, so I thought I'd
Buffon?
Yeah, Buffon.
Anyway, how's the pre-season been with him?
Yeah, it's been pretty full on. We went to Arizona again in the off season, in the pre-season just before Christmas, and I think his motto was smash us as much as he can in the 2 weeks. So yeah, we kind of hated him when we were over there, but we got back and he's taken the foot off the pedal a little bit now. We're playing games and we got round 1 next week, so it's more rest and recovery at the moment.
What do you do now pre-season? In our day, we'd be running hundreds and
would you, Bill? Few beers here and there,
1K as Mitchy boy.
Yeah.
What do you do nowadays?
Obviously we had a weekend off, so we had a pretty big day last Friday. I think we ran about 12K in the training session itself. It's more full ground skill drills and getting the fitness base up with a little bit of scratchy work in there, about 20 minutes scratchy, and it's more tackling and stuff at the moment, and it's pretty much just
game type stuff.
Yeah, game time stuff, which is the best kind of footy, because when you're running laps around the oval, that's the worst part. So
and best trainer? Who's your best runner?
We've got Ed Keno and Belly down there. Big Tom Bell. He's about 95 kilos, and he runs under 6 minutes just for the 2K. So he's a bit of a gun.
Big boy.
Yeah, he's a beast.
And you got tracking on the whole time. So right through that session you just described, you've got a
GPS system.
GPS tracker.
Saved you too.
And you know exactly what you're doing with regard to burst effort as well as ground covered.
Yeah, it just shows like the high intensity running and the 70% running in the sprints and in the total distance. So the coaches look at where you're playing. Obviously, in the forward, you want your high intensity running up and your tackling and stuff. So when you're in midfield, you kind of want the longer distance type running. So
and the expectations for the season, I assume the group wants to improve, try and close the gap on the other sides.
Not reading the notes there. Nah.
That'd be what
this year we don't want to. We've got expectations of playing finals footy. We want to improve. We lost a lot of games last year. It's pretty much the same as North Melbourne, by a couple of goals or a goal. So when you close the gap there, you finish in the top 8 and you got a chance of finals footy. So
the former skipper, the superstar that is Chris Judd, how much footy are you going to play without him?
Old Achilles.
I think he's been told he's coming back round 3, and with Juddy, he usually he's pretty professional, so he come back probably earlier than that. But no, he's running around at training right now and doing some touch work and stuff. So yeah, he's a gun in the rehab component, so he'll be back bigger than ever.
Right. And a dad, Jim, new dad again.
Yeah, little Billy Kate, I think. So she's a gorgeous little girl, and he's done very well. Takes after the mum again, I think.
Speaking of which, there's a question we've got to ask Mitch Robinson next. Along those same lines, Willis.
Joel on Twitter, who's hit us up at TripleM Rush Hour, said, Mitch Robinson from the Blues, the honey badger.
Well, Gary Lyon is a big fan of the honey badger. And the most ferocious animal in Africa, Bill. He can be in a lion's jaws.
That's right.
And it starts punching the lion in the head and gets itself out.
Somehow gets it.
It's extraordinary.
That's you, the honey badger.
I might start that. It's my new claim name.
Hey, membership, by the way, at the Blues Flying, 1300 Carlton or carltonfc.com.au.
40,000, just made 40,000.
I think you've just 41.
41.
Just been handed to me. 41 plus members, 41,000. So get stuck in, Mitch.
Yeah, well, we had 50 last year, so that was pretty good for us. And, to be competitive with the big teams, you need to get that mark. And hopefully we make the 50 mark pretty soon. But, yeah, we're flying at the moment.
Well, you are one of the big teams. So you play in front of big crowds. You have
amazing.
A huge
good
following.
Support.
Yeah, you must love it.
Yeah, well, it's good. If we can get games down Ballarat again, that was pretty good. So
you like
That's
that?
fantastic.
Yeah, I loved it, mate.
I tell you who you'd be missing. Your old mate Eddie.
Eddie Betts, yeah.
Eddie Betts.
I had a little cry about when he left, but no, it's for the best. He has family over in Adelaide, and he's a little baby now, so I think I have to worry about his contract and where he's at. And I think they gave him a 4-year deal, so he gets to 31 years old. And as he's seen already, kicked 5 goals in a Pracky match, and he came down for one of our games, and he said he didn't want to play against us just yet. So
Yeah, I see that.
I got told to drop him. So
Speaking of having a baby,
yep.
What's going on, Mitch? Just quietly at home.
Yeah, got a little baby boy due in 3 weeks' time. So he's due on the 27th of March, and that's we play Richmond that night. So
what happens there?
Mate, obviously I've got to play footy. I'm on matches at the moment. So no. I'll play. I'll definitely be there for the birth, and I'm just hoping she can hold on for a couple more days.
She being Emma.
Emma McNeil.
And you know it's a boy. You've already
little
seen
boy.
the spout.
So I was pretty rapt. The doctor said he's looking very big down there, and so it's going perfectly at the moment.
Have you got a name?
Yeah, we've got a couple names picked out. I want a junior, but that's not going to happen. But
Junior. Eddie. I'll be someone like Eddie.
No, I might be like a Jimmy or
That's
be
it. Yeah. Well, I always lend it if you want it, Mitch. It's
not too bad. I don't mind.
Mate, James has done me very nicely over the journey, Bill. Well, it gets shortened to Jim.
It does.
Idiot.
Jim.
Well, don't call it James then.
Uncle Jim.
You don't just call someone Jim.
Well, you can.
Oh, yeah, but you don't as a rule, Bill.
You're William, mate, yeah?
Anthony.
Which
is a shocker.
What's your brother's name?
Blair.
Blair, another one?
Anson. Strange mob.
There you go.
Hey, now tell us, Dale Thomas too, or liking the look of him.
Mate, he's flying at the moment. Better than expected at the start. I thought a bit of a risk with his ankle and stuff, but obviously we put full faith in our doctors and the club, and they know him better than us. So at the moment, he's playing full game tomorrow.
Good.
Playing on balls, so we get to see a bit of the big Daisy. So
where are you tomorrow? What's the game tomorrow?
We're at Vizzy Park at 4:00. So come down, and we're playing the Bulldogs, which is we're playing with our 22 players, best at the moment, and just a bit of a match before we get into the real stuff next week.
All right, now the Brycelett Gibbs. What's going on there, please? This is
Big
a man
Gibber.
who, again, number one draft pick, and
We've got a few of them.
Free agent. And the pull, I guess, to go back to South Australia, everyone talks about. You know him well. What do you think?
Yeah, there's a lot of talk about that at the moment. I think he wants to get the contract done ASAP because we can see it happens to Clokey and those blokes. It just drags on. But no, we've got a great culture down the club at the moment. You can see Murphy signed up, Walker signed up. We've got a couple more boys out of contract, but no, I believe he'll stay down. He just nominated for leadership group and he's in the leadership group again. So he loves his footy at Carlton, and no, I don't see him going anywhere.
Are you in the leadership group?
Yeah, mate. No, I didn't put my hand up this year. I reckon maybe one or two more years. I'm out of contract too, so if you want to talk about that.
Oh, out of contract.
When's that getting fixed up?
No, this year I might try and get in before those boys because there'll be nothing left after Murphy just signed. 4-year deal.
Murph just signed exactly 4
4
years.
years. Yep, the captain signed on again for 4 more years. So it's great to have him stay around because he's an absolute leader at the club and he's a gun too. So. 4 more years, well done, mate.
Yeah, it's a good effort. It's a long contract, isn't it?
That's a big one. I think
Good on
he'll
him.
be nearly 30 years old. So.
Well, Mitch, you're a Triple M footy favourite. We love watching you go about it. Good luck for a massive season with the Blues.
The Honey
cheers,
Badger.
thanks, boys.
On your Badger.
Now, listen, Willis,
Yes.
I got to tell you what happened to me today.
What happened? Jim?
I'm still amazed by it.
Right.
I'm driving along past the Yarra where all the boat clubs are, the rowing clubs.
I'm amazed you're in here with us, by the way.
Willis, the phone rings in the car. Up comes the number on the dash.
Yes.
So I look at it and it's an 02 Sydney number.
Oh, look out.
Well, given that Channel 9 run out of Sydney, of course, if it's a Melbourne number, Bill, and I don't recognise it, I never answer. But given it's a Sydney one, I'm always inclined to answer the 02 numbers because I think I might be in a bit of trouble.
Or big cricket news for Jimmy Boy.
Stepping into Richie's shoes.
Shut up.
Richie shoes.
Shut up, you two. Anyway, I answer. Yep. And what I'm telling you right now is exactly what happened. I have not laid one bit of mayo on this.
Righto.
I give it the, hello, g'day. Is that James? I went, who wants to know? Nathan. I said, Nathan who? He goes, Nathan from Income Protection.
Come on, Nathan.
I said, from where? Income Protection.
Come on, Nathan.
I said, why are you ringing me? He goes, just wondering if you want to have a look at protecting your income.
No, Jim.
Bill, I am serious. I said, I'm pretty right for income protection, actually, no.
Thanks, Nate.
And then, I kid you not, he didn't dive in again and have a crack. This is a cold call, by the way. He gives it the, right. Big pause.
Big pause.
Sweet. Anyway, Tar for listening to me.
Oh, no.
And he hung up.
And he hung up.
He hangs the phone up. And I'm driving along.
Where do you
By
reckon?
this stage, I've got to the Herald Sun, that sort
Where
of part
was
of
Nate,
South
you
Bank.
reckon?
Well, Bill, he sounded like he's ringing from the middle of a game of beer pong.
Beer pong.
Like he was in the beer garden somewhere.
Oh, come on, Nate.
After he just hopped off his skateboard, not long after pulling on a bong. That's what he sounded like.
Very relaxed. I like is that the new wave of selling?
I don't know, but I'm thinking this bloke is trying to convince an income earner to protect that income with which is one of the most reputable banks and one of the biggest banks in this country, and he sounds like something out of those stupid movies.
Well, you should have asked him, give us a bit more info, Nate. That would have stuffed him.
But I just love the... it doesn't sound like it's going too well, and the bloke's giving it, I'm pretty right, so he goes, right, sweet. Tar for listening to me.
Tar for listening.
It's my shot.
So, Bill, I thought 13353.
Yep.
I want the Rush Hour family to get involved. Have you ever had a worse sales pitch than Nath from Income Protection at a crack at with me?
I liked it. Good
on,
money.
Bill. 1,000 to 1.
Yeah,
Anyone buys income protection from Nath.
13353. Ring now.
This bloke rings me, Nathan.
Nath.
From one of the four big banks,
Jim,
Income Protection from Sydney. Now, you're trying to convince someone to spend a hell of a lot of money insuring their income with you, and this bloke honestly sounded about 24. And when I said that I wasn't overly interested, all I got was a sweet tar for listening to me.
That's right, tar. You got a tar, Jim.
I couldn't think of a worse sales pitch. I mean, if he was trying to sell you a skateboard, you'd expect that style of delivery.
Yeah.
This is a high-end bank product. Anyway, Scott joins us from Pakenham. Scotty, have you had a worse sales pitch than that?
I've had one, boys. How you going?
Good, Scotty. What happened, mate?
I was in a long time, first time, by the way, but I was in Atlanta in the States with work, and I had a conference, and then I had a week on my own, and I thought I'd do a bit of travelling around Atlanta. So I went into I won't say the company, but a worldwide car rental place.
Yes.
And it was obviously company paid, but I was, if there was a Hummer in there to rent, I was going to rent it. And I went in there and I said, "G'day, mate, how you going?" He said, "Oh, where you from, man?" I said, "Oh, from Australia." He said, "Oh, right, I don't know where it's Crocodile Dundee." I said, "Yeah, that's it, mate." And he said, I said, "I want to hire a car." He said, "Oh, do you know where you're going home?" So I said, "No, I just want to have a drive around, man." He said, "What do you mean? You don't know all the streets around here?" I said, No. He said, "You get shot, man. You get shot." And, so I ended up shaking hands with him and said, "Have a good day." And I walked out not hiring a car.
So he talked you out of hiring a car when he was a hire car salesman.
He was a hire car salesman, so he was right up there on commission.
So did you hire one from somewhere else?
I went next door and got one, yeah.
Good work, Scotty.
That's nice, Scotty. Thank you. Woody's in Pakenham, Willis.
Hello, Woody.
How you going, guys?
Good, Woody. What happened with you?
I don't get so much of a sales pitch as I got a great offer of somebody ringing me constantly saying, "Oh, you got a problem with your Windows. It's about to crash. If you jump online, follow the prompts, we'll help you out."
Right.
And I'll give them the old, "I've got an Apple," and they absolutely shit and hang up the phone.
Really?
Yeah.
So that's how you get rid of them.
Well, I do have an Apple.
Good work, Scott.
Yeah, right.
Do you want to go to the FitX Sport and Fitness Expo tomorrow? It starts at the Melbourne Exhibition Centre.
I would love to.
All right, Woody, you're in. Hang on to the line and we'll get you the passes.
Congratulations at the Oscars. Pete's on the line from Point Cook. Hello, Pete.
How you going?
Have you had a worse sales pitch than Nath from this bank?
Oh, it's probably the worst sales pitch of all time. I used to do phone sales like years ago as a part-time job after work.
Like cold calling?
Yeah, cold calling. Yeah. And I used to be from the pizza shops. You fill in a thing from the pizza shops, we'll get those as leads and we'd ring these people up.
Yep. Yeah.
And I rang this lady and she sounded a bit distracted. She asked me to call back the next day because she was busy. So I rang her back, went back to work the next day and rang her and ended up having phone sex with her.
Oh, no. Oh, come on, Pete.
Pete.
I'm serious. Just married. It was cool.
Oh, no.
That was cool.
Hey, Pete, how did that get started? Did you head it down that path or was she more interested in it?
No, she started slagging off at her husband and things like that. And because I was only young at the time and things like that. I thought, what the hell? And it just ended up like that.
Ring back, did you, Pete?
Yeah, that's when we had it. So.
Deliver a pizza, Pete?
Oh, it's not...
One with a lot?
The Hartford time, yeah, and no prawns, yeah.
Not the only time that pizza's finished that way, Willis. All right, well, thank you, Pete, very much.
What happens, Jim, out there?
Oh, I can't believe it.
So no income protection for you?
No, well, no, I actually already have, but I certainly wouldn't be buying it from Nathan. There are some products that you want the bloke to be pretty, or lady, to be pretty switched on. I would have thought.
That'd help, yeah.
Now, Will, last night in South Africa, Australia won the Test Series 2-1 and played the most emphatic brand of cricket, which is why we're so proud of them.
Exactly.
So what we're doing is now going to a man who played 46 Test matches of his own to find out what he thought of it. Fox Sports' own Greg Blewett. Hello, Bluey.
Good afternoon, lads. How good was that? Just caps off a brilliant summer for the Aussies.
It does indeed, Bluey. It was unbelievable. It was a long, long night, but wasn't it? I didn't think they were going to get there in the end.
I know, I was a bit nervous. I must admit I didn't get through the whole night. So I was a very relieved man when I got up this morning and checked the result, and to get it inside 5 overs. So I think there was a fair bit happening at the end there. But, to South Africa's credit, they were obviously a fighting team. They're still number one in the world. We've closed in on him pretty quickly, but they're never going to go down without a fight. But I suppose we wouldn't want to have it any other way. But, it was just a fantastic result. To go over there and beat them there is brilliant.
Hey, Bluey, your old mate Rhino Harris is a star.
Yep. Well, he didn't take the most wickets for the tour over there, but gee, bowled well. And last night, that was just pure guts. He was clearly on one leg, and he's going to go under the knife in a couple of days' time. And you could see he was pretty stiff and sore. And he hardly bowled a bad ball. I mean, they kept showing his pitch map, and there was no bad deliveries at all. So, the way he's finishing off his career is just outstanding.
Hey, what was the fat boy Lehman thinking coming down to the boundary and trying to explain to Rhino how to bowl fast?
He wasn't thinking, obviously. But he's done all right, hasn't he, Big Buffer?
No.
He's taken over that mob, and he probably wouldn't have expected when he did take that job that Mitchell Johnson would have been bowling as well as he did. And I think he's turned David Warner around, not so much with his batting, but I think his attitude. Buff is a large reason why Australia are playing well. So, full credit to the big fella.
Nathan Lyon was an interesting one. Day 5, a spinning wicket, bowls 22 overs, doesn't get a wicket.
Yeah, you're right. I didn't think there was a whole lot there for most of the game, though. There was a little bit there last night, but the ball for most of that test match was quite soft. So, the spinner's like a hard ball as well and a bit of rope on it. So, look, I think he did all right. He created a bit of pressure. Yeah, he didn't get a wicket, but I didn't think that was a result of the way he bowled. I thought he bowled pretty well.
Got a bit nasty there again, Bluey.
It did.
Is it going over the top a little, what we're seeing in Test cricket? Not just the Aussies, but all, with the sledging and things?
Yeah, I actually said I'm away on a bit of a cricket trip at the moment, and I said to a few of the boys that have played at that level, I said, I think we just need to be a little bit careful. I think we have gone over the top a fraction, and especially when we're winning, we want to be gracious when we're doing well. So I think Buffer's hopefully got a lid on that sort of stuff, and he'd set the guys in the right direction. But I agree. I think it was a little bit over the top.
I don't mind, Bluey, if it's within the normal flow of the game.
Yep.
But when the game stops and people start pointing at each other and all that sort of thing, it would worry me that young 16, 17, 18-year-old kids start to think that that's an acceptable thing to happen on a cricket field.
No, I couldn't agree more, mate. I think with what Michael Clarke did at the first Test match during the summer, I thought that was great. He was, sticking up for his teammates, but the whole finger pointing and the body language isn't great. So you're right. There's ways of going about it, and at the moment, there's just a few little things that aren't quite right.
Well, they seem to play their best when they're aggressive. We know that. And I tell you what was funny when Fat de Plusset, who everyone seems to hate. What about the dog? They were barking when he went out.
Just gave him the barking farewell. I'm not sure whether I've heard one of those before, but of course that's in reference to him saying that the Aussies were like a pack of dogs, and they woofed him off. But,
they did woof him off.
I'm not sure whether I've heard that either.
Yeah, never seen a woof. So where are you, Bluey? Where do we find you on your little cricket trip?
Mate, I'm at Currumbin Surf Club, and I tell you what, it is absolutely sensational. The blue skies, the surf's sensational, and we're just...
Who you got with you?
just having a couple of jars, Billy.
Who you got with you?
Oh, we got Andy Bickle, John Davison, huge names in the game, Billy. Absolutely huge names.
No, Bix, we love Bix, the way he used to tear in.
Yeah, well, he was, and he's the current selector, of course, so he was telling me that South Africa are still number one on 121 points, and Australia 119. So, and I think India are next, third on 112. So we're not far off from being number one in the world now.
Well, go and enjoy it, Bluey. Thanks for joining us.
All right, cheers, boys.
See you, mate.
Joined by the very magnificent Tiff Hall, a great old friend of ours. Hello, Tiff.
Hello, boys.
Hello, Tiff. This, if you don't know Tiffany's work, and you bloody well should. Former gladiator, of course, former star of The Biggest Loser, now making Brisbane her home.
Ooh.
But, of course, a very highly qualified personal trainer, and that's why we're speaking to you, because, of course, the FitX Expo is on Melbourne Exhibition Centre tomorrow.
Yes.
So our focus is on fitness, and you are very fit. How do you maintain that, please?
Lots of taekwondo, lots of yelling, screaming, kicking, eating health food, just looking after my body so I've got good energy.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about there, Tiff. But
Do you?
It helps if you, I'll tell you, it helps if you live in a town like Brisbane, I think.
Yeah, it's
because
really
it's
healthy.
more sun, isn't there?
More sun.
And you eat better.
Yeah. I drive Ed to work. He works in TripleM
your
at
man.
Cavalier at 4:30, and then I go and run the river. And everyone's up at 5.
So
it's
you
fantastic.
drive your fiancé to work and then you go for a run at 4:30 in the morning.
Because otherwise it's too hot.
It's not quite right, that, Jim.
No,
I don't know about
that's a first.
Dedicated, that's what
that is.
Well,
too
you and I
dedicated.
did breakfast radio for a long time, Bill, and I don't remember Mrs. B driving me anywhere at 4:30.
No.
I just used to get the size 6.5 and get out of bed.
Yeah, never woke up once and even cooked breakfast. I've been trying to get fit, and it's bloody hard because I'm just lazy and slack. But have you ever bought anything like the Ab King Pro or anything like that?
No,
any of those
don't.
machines? Are they any good?
No good. They're traps, and all those magic potions and infomercial stuff doesn't work.
Doesn't work.
You have to just rely on the simple things:
Like?
clean food.
Yes.
Really exercise that you enjoy, eating regularly to boost your metabolism.
Right.
And drinking water.
We were talking about this earlier in the week. I've taken up boxing, and I'm a well hard bastard, and you can see that, can't you? You can see with the way I'm presenting myself now that you can see the benefits.
Jab cross.
Don't hit me.
I must admit, Tiff, it is pad work. I'm not sparring with anyone and have no desire to. But when I'm 46 now, so I can't run anymore. I keep pulling my bloody calf all the time. You got to change. You can't keep doing the same stuff.
You can't. And variety is really important. Your body adapts. It's a very smart machine, and you have to find different forms of exercise. As you get older, Pilates and yoga are usually the way to go.
Willis?
Have you tried that?
No, Joe Pilates, don't know him. And yoga? No. What else? Give us something else we might like. Something for the bigger blokes out there. And there's a lot of Higgs.
Us.
Thank you.
There's a lot out there that might be a bit embarrassed to walk into a Pilates class.
Yes,
and say,
absolutely.
Yeah. So
I know. I was joking about the Pilates. Look, I think with the bigger blokes, it doesn't come down to what you eat. It's more so what you drink. So drinking your calories. So what do you drink in a day?
Carlton Draft.
Yeah, see, I brought in something different for you to drink. I brought in what I have for breakfast every day.
Now, Jim, have a look at what
is disgusting.
It
green.
has 10 serves of vegetables in it. It's a green juice. You've got your kale, you've got spirulina, some berries in there, broccoli. Yeah, everything. 10 serves of veggies.
That looks properly horrible. That's when you get seasick. That's what comes out.
So I'd love you to just try it.
I will smell it.
Smell it or try it.
Come on, Bill.
How do you open the bloody thing?
Give it to the gladiator. Here you
Tiff's
go.
opened it in half a turn. Yeah. Right, come on, here we are. It makes me unwell.
Mate, it is green like green vial.
Oh, no.
Oh, I want to write that one
You
down.
mean bile, Bill?
What do you think?
It's got
Could
its
you
own
start your
taste.
day with that?
It's got its own taste.
It is like, it's seaweed or something. And
Yeah, it's got some seaweed in it.
I know, yeah.
All right, so Tiff, if a man in their mid-40s, which Bill and
Yes.
I are, comes to you and says, tell me one thing I can do from tomorrow onwards that'll help me get fitter.
Yeah,
what
I
would you
think
say?
walking. Walking is fantastic. And also ease off on the beer. Just
Bill?
for a little bit, just until you get down to a goal weight.
Well, if you're interested in all of this,
Yes,
the FitX Expo starts Melbourne Exhibition Centre tomorrow, so make sure you get stuck into that. Tiff, it is always great to see you.
Thank you.
Jim, fires are still burning. Do you realise that?
No, I
down
don't
in
realise that. Morwell, country.
Which is unbelievable.
It is unbelievable.
Actually, when's Sid's coming on, by the way? We need him.
Yeah, back when he comes back.
Right. Oh, thanks, Jim. Now, I was sitting there watching the television one day.
Yes.
Because I get very interested in things like Ukraine.
Yes.
And there's a meteorite on the way, which I'm going to get Julie on to talk to someone from the meteorite station to tell us how big it is. But
the meteorite station.
Yes.
Write it down.
You ring them up and they give you what's happening, how far away.
Do they?
Yep. Now, Jim, I was watching the fires, right? Because there's firebugs out there, and if you ever caught them, string them up in the centre here.
Where, Bill?
The centre of Melbourne.
Fed Square?
Fed Square. Hang them up there.
Oh, no.
I shouldn't have interrupted. I don't know. I'm sorry. I'm sorry to the listeners.
And just stone them. Fair dinkum. There's nothing worse than a firebug.
That is a disgrace.
It is a bloody disgrace.
Especially we know recent history tells us how dangerous they are to lives and property.
Exactly. So it's all smoky, Jim. It's all hazy. Were you here for a couple of days?
Yes, I was. I actually texted our great mate, the Bristle, because it was up at Monteguito,
that's right.
Creek,
It
where
was
his
too,
place
yeah.
was, to find out if he was all right.
So a terrible couple of days, hazy, smoky. I'm watching TV as a warning comes on the television, on Channel 9 I'm watching. You know what the warning said, Jim?
What?
Do not go outside and do not exercise. I'm sitting on the couch, thought, how good's that warning? How good is that warning?
It's pretty much been the way you've lived your life for 20 years.
But no, for 4 months, Jim, I've done nothing. But I heeded that warning.
Did you?
Yes, I did.
Yes.
Do not go outside and do not exercise.
Yeah.
So that was fantastic. So I lived by that, Jim.
Have you?
I loved it. One of the great
He
warnings.
recorded it on IQ.
I
And so
tried
time anyone came into the house, he played that. Sorry, I can't
Do
go
not
out.
go outside and do not exercise.
And do not exercise.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Well done.
Sat pretty comfortably with you, did it, Bill?
One of the great warnings of all time.
Joined by Wayne Carey, greatest footballer the North Melbourne Football Club's ever produced,
Yes.
and of course now one of the senior analysts, Bill, on a Friday night for the Seven Network. Hello, Duck.
Yeah, g'day, boys. How are you?
That is a great thing. You must be really pleased with that.
I am looking forward to a big year of footy, obviously with TripleM and Seven. It's going to be good.
You're going to have yourself and Lethal.
Yep.
So they are 1 and 2, depending on where your bias sits, Bill.
Well,
I know I'm on record as saying which one is 1 and 2, but
I'll
they're
sit
two
there
best
in
ever.
I'll sit there in awe of Lee, as I did when we had some promo shots a couple of weeks ago. I just like talking to him. I think he's the most common sense commentator. TV, boys.
Yes.
Sorry,
Well done.
JP.
Good word.
TV, he's just
No, he's
absolutely
very
brilliant. He just makes sense. He doesn't overcomplicate things. He's brilliant. He's the godfather of football right now, and I love the way he goes about it.
Do you talk to Malcolm Blight about football?
I did many years ago. Blighty, he's a little bit left of centre.
And as long as you bring it back to Blighty.
As long as you come back to Blighty. But he's one of the greats also.
He is,
it's amazing. There's not too many players that played before and play now that have a presence and an aura like Lee Matthews and Malcolm Blight.
Yeah. So who are you in awe of? If anyone, so it's Lee Matthews. Who else? Duck?
I think Tony Lockett's got more presence in centre. He's got plenty, and Malcolm Blight's another one. But the list goes on and on. But I really. I do. I look up to Lethal.
Can you believe, if you look statistically at what he achieved, Lee Matthews, given that he spent most of his career on ball until the end when he went forward, he kicked 900 goals,
He did.
Oh, amazing.
900.
And someone, I did a function the other night and someone brought up a stat, Billy, and I'm not weeing in my own pocket here, but someone brought up a stat that it's only 2 players, and if you got asked this question prior, I had no idea that I'd done it, and certainly didn't guess that Lee Matthews was the other one, but there's only 2 players that have ever had more than 20 possessions in a game and kicked 5 goals in a game more than 30 times.
Really?
30?
Yeah, it's Lethal and myself, which is... I had no idea that I'd done that and would have no idea that Lethal did it. So I'm glad that I sit alongside Lee doing that anyway.
Well, he's only 178 centimetres.
That's it.
So he played 332 games, 915 goals.
900.
Victoria 14 times. And then, of course, went on and coached and premiership coach and things like that.
Times 4.
He's one of the all-time greats.
He's without a doubt the best football person as a whole. I think
He's
what
got
he's
that
done,
funny voice.
what he's done as a player, and then to go on and do what he's done as a
What was
coach.
that, Bill? What's the
he's
funny
just a
voice,
freak.
He's got that funny voice when you talk to him, isn't it?
I tell you what, Bill,
it's like a jockey.
You wouldn't say that to him if you were sitting here. You are petrified. You jump out of the way of your own shadow.
Bill.
He has. He just got that squeaky little voice. So
I don't think he has, Bill.
No one else thinks that. Bill.
Just as I waddled in here, Bill, I just had a look. I've heard you've had a big summer.
Oh.
Playing up like a second-hand whippersnipper.
What is he doing?
He's just been around town. I've heard a lot of, rumours about AFL players.
Yes.
This time of year, they've been doing this, doing that. I've just heard all these rumours about you, Bill.
No, well, cut them in half, and you're right.
Yeah.
I've been
divide
around.
them by two.
I tell you what, I haven't heard anything about you. You are in rubber glove.
Rubber glove? What's rubber glove?
You are in love, my friend. You're done.
Just lying low, Billy. It took me 40 years to grow up. I think I've got there.
And now you've got the good food guide here.
Yeah.
Actually, someone might send us through some
suggestions.
Duck wants to go out for dinner.
The Age Good Food Guide. And I'm going out for dinner tonight, and I didn't know where to go, and I'm a creature of habit. So I went across the road and bought this at the newsagents.
I'm sure there's some top quality chefs that listen to the show that would have plenty of suggestions on 133353.
And maybe even a
Well,
free one.
And I am a My Kitchen Rules fan, Billy. I don't know whether you've been watching that, but I'm right into that.
We're going to find out more about Wayne Carey and what he's up to, including tonight, next on the Rush Hour.
Wayne Carey is with us.
A question I'm interested in your answer, Duck, is the issue that Jake King is confronted with at the moment, and the company that he keeps, and whether or not the football club he plays for, and indeed whether or not the league have any right to tell him in his own time who he can and can't associate with. What do you think?
Look, it's an interesting one. Obviously, Jake, and from what if you're to believe what you read, they have been friends for a long time. I think they may have gone to the same school or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
But look, I think that at the end of the day, it's his decision. I don't think that the league should be able to come in and say who you can and can't mix with. Obviously, you can be given advice, and it's like anything in life, I guess. We as parents sit down and we give our kids advice all the time, and I know over my time I've been given advice, but do you take it?
You listen?
Sometimes you don't. Sometimes you need to come to that conclusion yourself, and I think that he'll come to that conclusion when he needs to. But I honestly don't think that the league, and from what I understand, they haven't got involved.
Yep.
Just
But how
yet.
do they, Duck? I mean, if you've got
How do you
800
police that?
footballers,
How do you police
do
it?
you get around 800 footballers and make sure that they're not mixing with people who you don't deem to be appropriate?
That's right. And what I will say that Jake, he hasn't. It's not like he was sneaking around trying to hide this.
Yeah.
I mean, he was in open view of everyone, and obviously if they're friends, they're friends. And one of the things about being a good friend, I guess, is you warts and all. And
also,
people make mistakes, and you stick by your friends.
The dressing room's different.
And if that's his choice. Yeah, exactly.
The dressing
right.
room's different.
I agree.
You've got to make sure that that's a very
I agree.
in a place with integrity for obvious reasons.
Yeah,
but when it comes to you clock off at the club, you finished your time, you
Yep.
go back to your house. I mean, surely we're kidding ourselves as an industry if we think we can then start telling people who they can and can't spend time with.
Well, like I said, I totally agree, and I don't think that there's no real right or wrong. It, like I said, gets back to the individual, and we can give him as much advice as you can, but until he's ready to take it.
I'm sure some of the AFL people would have some friends that maybe are not appropriate too, Jim, if we want to look in their own backyard, over the journey. We all have, exactly. Now, Duck, did you ever, have I asked you this? I'm not sure, get a big offer from another club, like a Buddy Franklin offer, to move clubs?
Back in the day, very early, I got an offer from Adelaide, which was, I think, 4 times the amount I was getting paid at the Kangaroos at the time. But that's never contemplated leaving.
You didn't?
And from that time on, I don't think I ever had a contract that got under 2 years. I just kept being rolled over into a new contract. So only once, and it was very early. I think it was 1991. So right when the Crows first formed.
Yeah. So, and speaking of that, the Crows. So you went to 2 different clubs. The old North Melbourne had the gym in the old social club. Didn't have the weights and things like that. Very successful. You went to Adelaide and they had the Mickey Mouse facilities, I dare say.
Yep.
Can that improve your footy if you've got the good facilities like Adelaide?
I think now it does, certainly. I think you have to have all the state-of-art facilities and equipment and everything else. I mean, some of the stuff the Kangaroos have got now, and obviously all clubs, but being able to have non-bearing running machines and all of that sort of stuff. I mean, if you had that back in the day, it would have been unbelievable. But I guess for the Kangaroos, and you got to remember, okay, not great facilities. I think the main difference from the Crows to the Kangaroos was, okay, weight's a weight. I mean, you push them, who cares if they're fancy or not? But it was the fact that at the Kangas we had to drive to Askervale to go to the swim centre. We had to do our gym there. We never trained at the ground, whereas Adelaide and the doctors were in the city. So we had to pretty much go all around Melbourne to train, whereas the Adelaide Crows had it all under the one roof. And so it was just easier, I guess.
Yeah.
But Dennis wore a lot of that like a badge of honour in his time, didn't he? He
did.
We don't need any of this to be successful, and you didn't.
No, we were very lucky that we had a very good coach and a very good team, you know, JP.
And he loved you, didn't he?
No doubt about that.
Didn't he love you?
We're going to find a restaurant for Wayne next because we've had some people ring in and they've got some suggestions for Duck.
That's right.
One in a suburb here that might be stretching him a touch.
Do you know where that is, Duck?
What's that?
Warren?
Might be a little bit too far.
Wayne Carey's here for Fox Footy.
Going out with the Dale tonight, a special night because she's heading off for a week on holiday. So Natalie from Baronia has been good enough to ring in. We thank Nat and say that the Altair restaurant in Warrandyte might be a spot for you, Wayne.
Well, I get off here at about 10 to 5, so in about 5 minutes. I'm not so sure the peak hour will suit me heading out to Warrandyte.
Got anything off Twitter there, Bill? Any suggestions for where Duck should go?
Natalie.
You can find us at TripleM Rush Hour if you've got a suggestion of where Duck might be able to go for dinner tonight.
A Greek restaurant in Swan Street. Very nice because you like all that meat.
Yeah,
I think it's called a guppy.
A guppy?
A guppy.
I think that might be
and
the
in
one.
the Brothers?
Yeah, I've actually
And
I've
Fuller
eaten there before. That's very nice.
Oh, there you
That's
go.
very
All
nice.
right.
Probably not one for the lads, though.
Yeah, maybe not
all
for
the
beautiful
meat.
Dale.
And a lot of garlic. Not ideal.
Dale might like that.
You've got magnificent options in this town, Duck. The greatest restaurants in Australia here in Melbourne.
He'll find one, Duck. Now, there's only 3 teams that can win the grand final this year if you listen to the captains, Hawthorn, Sydney and Fremantle. Do you agree, Wayne?
Well, I agree all of those 3 can win it, Billy, but I think there's a couple more in there. I think you'll see a few smokies, and I think the Kangaroos are certainly capable. And
Kangaroos can win the granny.
Absolutely, and we don't know what we're going to get from West Coast, Adelaide. I mean, these are clubs that could quite easily jump straight into that top 4.
All right, Duck, good luck tonight with the big dinner, and good luck, of
Thank
course,
you.
with the 7 Network dominating, and with us throughout the weekend.
And dessert.
Soon. Hooroo.
Dessert.
All right, let's get the joke done, Bill. Come on.
Righto, Jim.
Make it funny.
It's a good one, this one.
well,
Because
that's what you said
they've been a
last
bit
couple of
lame.
days.
Paddy,
no.
to be sure, I got to get into my voice. To be sure, decides to take up boxing and goes for the required medical. A few days later, the doctor phones and says, Paddy, you realise you got sugar diabetes? Paddy says, great. When do I fight him?
See, the thing about this is, Bill, when he tells an Irish joke, the main bit of the joke he also tells in an Irish accent.
Yeah, which you
not
don't need
not
to
just
do.
the speaking bit.
No.
He tells the whole lot in a horrendous Irish accent.
Apologies to Shane Kelly.
Yeah.
Sugar diabetes?
Yeah, no.
And when do I fight him?
Yeah, no. It's
just terrible. Stamp, blam, boom, wah.
No better.
Stamp, blam, boom, wah, 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 wah. Tomorrow
Well
at
done,
3.
Rhino Harris.
Oh, superstar.
You are a star.
Twinkle, twinkle.
And so is Jim.
Triple M's Rush Hour podcast was brought to you by Fox Footy, only on Foxtel.